shooters, loaders, and casters. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday night live stream. I'm glad y'all here. I'll be forewarned. I've got nothing. My brain is scrambled. It's been a tough week. Take it away, CW. How was your week, brother?
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming in. Another Friday night. Had a pretty good week. Busy week. I got a lot of running around to do, and I did. And I got a barrel I got in, and I did a little work on, and I got another barrel in today. I got a couple of videos done. So good times, good stuff going on, good stuff coming up. Anxious to get talking with everybody tonight, and good to see everybody on the side chat. Scotsman, how was your week?
Long. Long. I'm glad it's Friday. I'm glad to be here, hanging out with my good friends, my good brothers, my family, and everyone out in the side chat. Great seeing everybody. Hillbilly, what about you, man?
Oh, man. Doing good, buddy. Doing good. We warmed up this week some. I wasn't real happy about that, but, I mean, hey, we're halfway through the month of August. It's got to start cooling off some here pretty soon. So, anyway, you had a great week, though, other than that. And I really appreciate you guys having me here. Always a blast. Friday nights, starting them out. The weekend. And sure appreciate it, buddy, for having me here. How about you, 6-shooter? Oh, you done went and pulled a hillbilly. You're muted, brother.
Yeah, did that, didn't I? We had a good week. We shot cowboy Saturday. I went to the range, shot 22 Sunday. Then I took the wife to an indoor range Tuesday and let her do a practice with her sight picture on her pistols, and did a pretty good work week. Wasn't too bad. So ready for the weekend though. How about you, Andy?
Normal week at work, other than, hectic as hell like always. Good day at the range Wednesday. Took out the Rossi, had some fun. Got sighted in, then didn't like the scope, so I've been playing around with the scope. Much better now, so we'll find out next time out. And other than that, everything is good. Who do we got down there? Viejo, you're up.
Well, let's see. Here I am down here in the basement, alone, again. I had a good week, boys and girls. I got to the range a couple of times, found myself what I think might become my new favorite bullet for 38. And it is a Hensley & Gibbs number 73, 143 grain, kind of a truncated cone bullet. And I loaded it with some Vitavuri N320 of all stuff. And it shot really, really good. I mean, not just for me, but that good out at 25 feet. I mean, a quarter hole. So I'm going, okay, I'm going to make more of that stuff. And let's see, what else? I had a nice kayak outing. I had a couple good social outings. Went out to lunch with a couple friends. And got, as I said, got to the range twice. I cast 4 different molds today, and I got 3 more to do tomorrow for an upcoming series that we'll talk about next week. But all that's good stuff. Hey, casting, load, shooting, hanging out with the women folk. It doesn't get any better than that, right, boys?
No kidding. Can I pick up some of those 38s at Bass Pro?
No, Bass Pro don't make them.
Doggone.
But you can, hillbilly.
But I can. If I was in Texas, I might be Texacan. Oh, no, wait, that's taken. Sorry, Hewlin, if you're out there eating dinner. How are you, Jamie? What's happening?
Oh, man, it's school started. I'm catching it from all sides. And we'll get to that in the verse of the week tonight. So let's make sure we can stand when it hits us from every angle. 6, I got a question.
All right.
What do Texans prefer to be? How do they refer to be? What do you want to be called? I mean, we're Georgians. I'm assuming y'all are Texans. Tell us.
I don't know. Texans?
Yeah, I was watching a cowboy movie this past week, and they called them Texicans or something like that. And it was a movie about the Alamo, and this was when Texas is fighting for their independence from Mexico in the 1830s, and yeah, he said there was an S in there, and I'm like, no self-respecting Texan I know is going to put up with that. So,
I mean, in the John Wayne movie, The Searchers, the lady says we're Texicans.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
well, I've heard Texicans, and I can deal with that. I don't blame you. There's a lot of people around the country give Texans a hard time. I'm trying not to step off in anything here, but if you think Texans have a certain attitude, it's probably because they deserve it. Because let's face it, they're the only state in the union that was an independent country before they were a state in the United States. So, yeah, they got a little bit of a right to be proud of where they live.
Actually, the whole history of the settlement of Texas is fascinating. There's just a whole lot that was going on between the settlers and the Native Americans and the Mexicans from the South. I mean, it was this trifecta of battle that was going on for that territory, and it was, a lot of interesting stuff. Some of it good and some of it not so good was happening back there. I've always enjoyed reading about, the history of Texans.
I've known a lot of people that have moved from other states, and they said when they got here, they just didn't understand it. But after they lived here, then they understand why we are so proud of our state, It's all those things,
Mm-hmm.
I was watching one person and saying this, like, this is the only state I know of that everywhere you turn around, you see the American flag flying everywhere. Yep. And right underneath it is the Texas flag.
Yeah, of course.
Every
As
time.
it should be. Yeah.
And I think we're all proud of our state. And I'm proud to live in Georgia. We were one of the 13 original colonies, but I got to kind of preface that when I say that, because the original design was Georgia was the penal colony. Georgia is where they sent all the convicts. Okay. So there's that. But we're still proud. Hey, Edward Petty.
There's a lot. People think we're not diverse, but you come here and you will see every ethnic there is here.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know some people might not agree with it, but I love a Tex-Mex. I love Tex-Mex food. I love the blend of the two styles.
Yep. Well, here in California, much of our culture is Mexican. They're in the kitchen in California that doesn't have tortillas in it. That's just
right.
part of life, And if jalapeno is the hottest pepper you can withstand, you probably live in Maine. But we rejoice in our Mexican culture here in California most of the time. There are those who don't, but I'm constantly reminding folks, look around and left, right, up and down, and see who's out there farming your fields. See who's out there, taking care of your household. See who's out there running for state senate. And we have a lot of Hispanic influence here, and the food is one of the best things, man. I'm telling you what, Mexican food is pretty hard to beat. And Tex-Mex is different. For those of you who don't know, Tex-Mex is not the same as Mexican. For one thing,
No,
the influence that came up into Texas is different from the Mexican influence that came into California. It's almost like it came from two different countries. But
Well, and if you get actual homemade Mexican food, there's a whole big difference right there too. So between going to some Mexican place and actually getting homemade Mexican food, yeah, big freaking difference.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard of people like going to Mexico and saying, "Hey, we want some authentic Mexican food. We love Mexican food." They take them out of the tourist industry area into somewhere else, and they're like, "I don't like that food. It's
Yeah.
different."
It's not Taco Bell. What are you talking about? This it can't be Mexican.
when I worked over on the east side of town, that's a real heavy influence over there of Spanish. And you go in there and eating those little mom and pop restaurants around there, and it's like, yeah, that's some good food.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's the same way here. There's the chains and the big restaurants, and they're catering to the gringo style of Mexican food.
Right.
But if you go to the little mom and pop places, of which they're myriad, I mean, they're everywhere here. And we have what we kind of colloquially refer to as roach coaches, which are the catering trucks. And these guys, they're working 6 days a week out in the fields. And on the seventh day of the week, they're out running this catering truck, loosely defined, to the fields. And they're making lunches and dinners and breakfast and stuff for the field hands. And if you stop and pick up some of their chow, you got some real good Mexican food, and it's different from what you're going to go find at. It's like going to Olive Garden and saying that's Italian food. No. Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
Yep.
Yeah. Last time I was at Olive Garden, I'm like, so why does Italian food only, according to you guys, only have chicken? I'm like, I can't even get any beef, nothing else. You guys just, mainly have chicken. Man.
Well, and don't forget the endless breadsticks.
Yeah.
They got to fill you up somehow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, grits aren't horrible, brother. It's all in the. I got to do a video on how to cook grits.
You know what you really do?
We got grits, and we don't put sugar on them either.
No, that'll get you a butt whooping.
Grits is something that only a few Californians, I would say, even know what they are. And my parents were from Kentucky, so we had grits. We grew up on Kentucky chow, which is partly why we got as fat as we did when we were kids. But we knew all about grits, and we liked them. We'd rather have that than oatmeal in the morning, with our eggs and whatnot. But
oh yeah, well, see, my parents, they grew up during World War II, and their parents, they're all from East Texas. That's red dirt country over there, and yeah, they eat all that stuff.
Yeah. All right, count us down, Walter.
On 3, 2, 1. Hey! It's Shaky Mario.
Welcome, Mario. Welcome, everybody.
His territory over there still shaking a little bit. They had that big one last week, and they've had several hundred little 2.0, 1.9 earthquakes over there. It's that fault really got to work last week. Good to see you, Mario.
Oh,
We got Thorzak's out there. Hey,
Marvin, I'm
Dave.
crushed. Still cut oats over grits anytime. Let me.
We had a 2.8 here in Texas this week too.
Let me show
We
you.
use 2.8s to mix our martinis with.
Yeah, I know. But
Hey, the
I
Emperor.
realize we have quite a few of them every week up toward the Panhandle way.
So every time I got this shirt, this is our local minor league baseball team, the Rome Emperors. Get it? Rome Emperors. So every time I look at the shirt, I think of Tim, PC Bullet Empire. And he did a video several years back about how he cooked grits. And he put sugar in them, he poured maple syrup on them, put so much butter in there. And I'm like, dang, man, there ain't even no grits left in there. And I've been threatening to make a video ever since, and I just got to get outside, do it outside.
Yeah, you got to do that one, and you got to do a Jiffy Mix.
Got to do a what?
Jiffy Mix.
I got something before Jiffy Mix.
Yeah, I sent him plenty of Jiffy Mix, so he's probably ate all that though.
He probably ate it all already.
Yeah, we made pancakes out of that, man.
I've got a box of that stuff sitting in the cupboard, and I keep threatening to make pancakes. The only problem is that I think that it would make too many of them, and I might not like them. I end up feeding them the neighbor's dog or something. But
well, my
Be
wife.
abusive to the animals.
Hey, the PETA would come after me, I'm sure.
So while we're just kind of BSing out here, folks, you got questions, let us know. Tonight it's your show, and by that we're asking you, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to ask us? Let us know. We haven't asked you guys in a long time. It's been a while since we didn't ask the audience. So what do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to ask and hear from the panel? So let us know out there, and we'll answer your questions, folks.
I ordered a new handgun today.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't have a Black Hawk in 357, so I ordered a stainless steel 357 Black Hawk, 6.5 inch.
Wouldn't that be a silver hawk?
Nice.
could have done two just because you could.
I could have, yeah. California,
I mean, you
know,
got two hands. I mean, come on.
got two hands. I could have
Double
ordered two at the
one.
same time, except that we also still have that stupid 11% excise tax, so that drives the price of a Ruger up into Smith & Wesson territory.
Hold on, y'all, slow down. I want to talk about that first one first. The one
All right.
there previous. I'm excited about Thompson Center. We were talking about that a little bit before we went live. I'm going to save up. I want me one of those Thompson Center Encores, the Pro
Me too.
Hunter version.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know why. I just want one. And
Yeah, William Chapin Curtis, he's got 2 or 3 of the handguns, the older ones, and with a bunch of barrels and all kinds of different calibers and stuff. And he's got quite a bit of video up on him. He kind of got me excited about it. And then several years ago, and then they shut their doors and they weren't around anymore. And now all of a sudden, here we go again. So I may try to dig one up. I'm not sure about our California law and stuff on that one, but it may not. Single shots like that tend to be exempt from California's roster of approved handguns, but I'd sure like to have one. You just got to like the interchangeability of all the barrels and calibers you can have out of one firearm. You know, you get the grip the way you like it, and it's going to feel the same way, of course, until you touch it off, you know, every time. And you can shoot rifle rounds, you can shoot all kinds of stuff out of it. It's just a great idea.
Same trigger. Yeah, same trigger.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the platform.
Yep.
You got to remember, there's two. There's the Contender and there's the Encore, and they got the G2. I don't know what exactly they're gonna bring back. SK is making some receivers for the Contenders. The Encore is the bigger one. The Encore, they're not interchangeable. G2 and G1 and easy opening ones are somewhat compatible. I think they're downward compatible.
I think you're right.
But the Contender is limited to about 40,000 psi or cup. So, you know, your 30-30 .35 Rem, those kind of rifle cartridges.
Mhm.
It will take 223, but not advisable 5.56. But you're not going to find it in a lot of the newer calibers. But the Encore could take. I mean, they've chambered those in some of the big African stuff. They've chambered those in WSM, Magnum, 7 mag, 300 mag. You can get those in all the big Magnum calibers. 3006, obviously, class of cartridges. So, and handguns and rifles.
So
pretty exciting. Yeah, they had a video this week. They were showing how they cast them, the investment casting process.
Oh, cool. I didn't see that.
It's pretty neat. Yeah.
Thompson Center has started a YouTube channel. So if y'all want to keep up on the news with those guys, y'all can see what's the latest and greatest. Now this comment, I powder coat, and that's all I have. All I've ever done. But the reason I got into powder coating, me and Thorzax was talking about it just last week, and I missed a call from him today, so I got to call him back as soon as I can. It's cheaper to get started with powder coating than the traditional lubricizers. And what I really want to do is do a test, cast up some bullets, and then powder coat some, then traditional lube some, and then with a third group do both, powder coat them, then lube them. And
I've never done one on top of the other, but I did some testing way back when powder coating we first sort of got started in it, and I started with it mostly because my local range was an indoor range, and the smoky, traditional lube would just get overbearing in there, and my guys on either side of me at the range were complaining, and I said, okay, I'll try this powder coat thing, and then I never looked back. But my powder coat bullets, with the same load, same bullet, same firearm, will come out of the barrel a little bit faster than a traditional lube, and then you don't have any of the mess. Not the traditional lubing. I'm on my second RCBS lubricizer. I had one, and when I started powder coating, I sold it like a moron, and so I bought another. I said, no, you can't let the old school die. And so every once in a while, and I'm talking about like once a year since I started powder coating, I get that one out and go do some traditionally lube stuff. In fact, I shot some the other day out at the range and some 41 mags, and they're so smoky, and I'd forgotten how smoky that stuff was, and powder coating completely encapsulates your lead. So once you've got that process done, you can, you're completely safe in handling all that stuff. It's encased in plastic basically. And your risk of getting it in, absorbing it, and stuff is over. And it's very slick, so it runs down your barrel really fast. I kind of wonder whether there's a difference in how much engagement there really is with the rifling with that stuff, because it's so slick compared to traditionally lube, where you've got more, I don't want to say bare metal, but it would always seem to me like the lead would grip onto the edges of your rifling a little bit better, might get a little better spin. I don't know. I never noticed any difference in accuracy between the two, but then I wouldn't. You guys seen me shoot. How would I know whether one's more accurate than the other, right? I don't have a ransom rest. That'd be the only way I could tell. But powder coating, like Jamie said, it's easier, it's cleaner, it's faster, I think. At least as fast, and plus we have colors. We can have rainbow bullets. We can make left-handed bullets.
Yeah, the less smoke is a big deal. Indoor ranges, it's a real big deal.
Yeah.
And also, when you make your bullets, when you traditionally lube and size them, it's a hassle to store them. I mean, you have to literally stack them up and be careful with them, or put them in you just can't do like you do with regular jacketed bullets or with powder coated bullets, which is chuck them in a bucket, chuck them in a box, put them on the shelf. No more worries. They'll never be stuck together in a clump. You don't have to worry about heat. You don't got to worry about nothing. It's just I do both. There's a couple of bullet designs that just don't work with powder coat, and of course muzzle loader bullets. That's powder coating. You can still powder coat them, but you're not really doing much except encapsulating the lead. You still have to lube those because you need to lube for the powder. So
I've been hearing you really shouldn't powder coat with black powder. So,
well, I think I've heard that too, and I think that's just traditionalists poo-pooing the modern stuff. Because what can it possibly hurt? What can it do?
It's melting it. There's the real black powder. APP.
Well, it is a little hotter, but I mean, I've recovered hundreds of bullets with complete powder coat on them, fired at a couple of 1,000 feet per second.
Okay.
There's
a lot of people are using the high tech and with APP.
High tech is a little different. It's not as durable.
Yeah. Well, APP and one of the other black powder substitutes that has a lot of graphite in it, and then you don't have to worry about the lube. A coated bullet will work.
Yeah, but if you remember, when powder coat first came out, it still is largely poo-pooed by traditionalists and by cast bullet long range shooters. And, I hear it all the time. When I see some awards won with it, I'll use it. Well, just like everything else, the older we get set in our ways, and we don't want to change. We know what works, so we stick with it. So these guys it's not a sport that's bringing new people to it. So it's a bunch of older people who have been doing this for longer than some of us have been alive. And there's no reason for them to change because what they have works. So more power to them. But I don't see the drawbacks that a lot of people complain about.
I don't know. I haven't experimented with it or anything, so I don't know. Because I've thought about doing it that way. I don't have to lube, but with black powder, you need to lube anyway to keep the fouling soft.
Yeah, you got to lube for the powder. So
yeah, but with the APP, that's what a lot of the cowboy shooters use is APP powder, and that's got a lot of graphite in it, and you don't have to do lube.
Yeah, to me, in the last, I'll say 10 years now, there have been several game changers in the way I do business at my reloading bench, and powder coating was one of the biggest. And maybe the next biggest was Inline Fabrication's press mount system. It saved my bacon.
Well, it took me
in a lot of ways.
It took me a while to go, what, black powder coat? It's like,
right, because
we manufacture a lot of stuff, and we had it sent out to get it powder coated. When it comes back, it's hard as a rock. It's like, why do I want to send something like that down my barrel? But when you see it done on a bullet, it's characteristics of it is totally different. Yeah,
it is. And you can color code for caliber or style or size or diameter, and if you want to. I don't. I look into my powder coat drawer and say,
even loads, like if I need some hotter loads for some knockdown targets versus regular cowboy loads.
Oh, and the one other thing too with powder coat, and you'll realize this once you get into it if you haven't got into it already. Or some colors work better than others. For whatever reason, they don't all stick the same. They don't all heat the same. They're all different, and you'll figure out what works for you, what doesn't work. Can you mix them? You can. How much do you mix with this and that one? Again, you just got to play with it to figure it out. But it's cool to do, and you can come up with really nice different colors and just play around with it. And when I first got into casting, all I heard was powder coat. I didn't hear anything about lube until later on down the road, and I'm like, I'm not messing with that because now I gotta buy a lubricizer. Now I gotta buy this. Now I gotta buy that, and I'm like, I'm good. I'm already set up for powder coat. I'll stick with powder coat.
Yep. And you can tumble lube and pan lube and that kind of stuff too. And Marvin had a good point. He says, Andy says, hey, switch to zinc and you don't have to worry about any of this crap. And he's right. Zinc, there's a lot to be said for zinc.
Yeah, I
And
can shoot it in cowboy shooting. So,
yep. A little too close in. There you go. Look at that.
Let me blow 'em up.
And whether the powder coat sticks or not is a thing. You got to pay attention to that. And we do a test for that. For those of you guys who don't know, we do something called a smash test. We try a new powder coat. We take the bullet and coat it, put it under a ball peen hammer on the garage floor or on an anvil and beat it down to the size of a nickel and see if that powder coat flakes off or not. If it starts flaking off, we don't use that. But 99.9% of it sticks real well and won't come off.
If you
Look
use
at
an
that.
electrostatic gun, everything sticks.
Yep.
They did that for CW. He sent me the powders he couldn't use and sent them back powder coated bullets. And
Boy, look at that one.
Awesome, man.
That's a great photo right there.
Yeah, it is. So, has everybody chimed in on that particular topic? That one.
Tactical Fud says chrome is the best. That was one of the coolest ones I ever stumbled on. That chrome color. I'll tell you what, if that stuff don't look like a chrome plated bullet, it's amazing.
Yeah, what I'm telling you, man, is when first time I used the chrome, I'm like, man, that's better chrome plating than on my Harley.
Yeah,
And
it's an amazing powder coat.
there's Chico, what's up, my brother?
Chico.
That bullet was dug out of wood.
Wow.
Hey, what happened? Did I blink?
There it
Yeah,
is. Yeah, look at you get sawdust in the grooves.
Yeah, and the wood.
Cool.
The wood did not take
Look at that.
the powder coat off. Yeah, wood
And
in the-
look at all the wood it dug up and how well the powder coat held up.
properly applied, it's durable as heck.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yep,
I
that's
agree.
awesome.
yep.
Yeah, so let's go back to
Is chromochrome prismatic or is it another one?
That's Columbia coatings.
those are nice mushrooms, man.
Look at those.
Uh,
Yes, sir.
This is a good point Chico makes if you live like where we live or where Six lives. Well, anywhere where it gets hot, man, that stuff's going to get hot and it'll melt right off of there, man.
Yep.
You got problems. I mean,
Yeah.
all of it won't, depending on what you're using.
Sure.
So,
When I make black powder loads, I make them up and I shoot them within a month's time.
And Walks had another good point there too. He said powder coating lets you get by with a little bit softer alloy than you might normally use with traditional lubing. It seems to hold the lead together a little bit better, so you don't have quite the worry about gas cutting and so forth with the powder coat as you would with a traditionally lubed lead bullet.
I'll go so far as to say that, and I probably shouldn't, I'm going to catch a ration of grief for this, but with a powder coated gas check bullet, I'll run jacketed bullet pressures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no reason to. No reason not to. I mean, yeah. Yep.
So, since we're talking about a topic that probably doesn't interest Hillbilly, and he doesn't cast yet, so he don't really have a dog in the fight. So, let's let him lead off with our next topic, which was the Smith & Wesson 1856 44 Magnum lever action. Is it worth the money? From what you've seen, your opinion.
Oh man. I mean, if you can afford it, I think it is. sometimes with the new prices, compared to what we're maybe getting them in the past, blah blah blah. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around that, but it's still um, a good setup. It works, and you just can't hardly go wrong with that, regardless of what the price is. And how many times over the years we may have not bought something because we think, well, that's priced a little high. I'll wait for it to come down. And then, 5 years later, we wish we would have bought it, or 10 years later, we wish we would have bought it because, the price jumped again. So,
Okay, y'all know that I love my lever actions and I love Smith and Wesson, but I'm going to withhold my opinion on this until last. So, Scotsman, you go next. There's George Boy 44. What's going on, buddy?
I'm gonna have to go with no, and the reason I say that is same reason I say no to Ruger with the Marlins. They are just overpriced beyond belief, and I don't know why they decided to go so high with the price on them. I love both of them. Trust me, I do. And you know me, I'm old school Smith and Wesson, but I cannot justify that. There's just no way. When it's something that they've done in the past, and they decided to relive it and do it in a different fashion or of sorts per se. Just because you got a little bit of new tooling and stuff doesn't mean that you can go ahead and just rack the price all the way up there. That's just stupid. They know it's going to sell. They know people are going to buy it regardless, and that's why they did it. And to me, that's kind of a backhanded, offhanded way of bringing it out. They should have brought it out at a decent price point, folks, and they would sell a whole lot more. And if they're built right, which I haven't seen one in person yet, but if they are built right, being a Smith and Wesson, going forward down the road, just like Hellboy said, they'll go up in price. They will. They'll be worth a lot of money down the road if they're built right and they run right, and that's the big thing. So, to me, I have to say no. I have to say they came out the doorway the wrong way with the price point.
Okay, I wanted y'all to have a look at it. Dr. Zink, what do you think?
I went out when I bought the Rossi 357. I was looking at a lot of different rifles, and I think for the price point in the Rossi, it was a good deal. My only other lever action I ever owned was a pre-64 30-30. And well, I should say there was also my father had a 32 special, but his wasn't pre-64. And I got thousands of rounds through my 30-30, never had an issue. So, I mean, but then again, things were made differently. But to me, depends on what you're going to use it for. You're going to go out plinking, you don't need to spend $2,000. If you're going to really use it for hunting and accuracy, you want probably a little better rifles, probably made a little bit better all around. So then you would spend the extra money.
The stainless steel one and Glenn Davis, yes. From what I'm seeing, I don't know exactly what the MSRP is, but what I'm seeing online is right around 13.
MSRP on the entry level one, which they have a higher grade one, but the entry level one they came out with was 15. It was like 15 or 1549, something like that.
Well, you can get them less than that. That's the MSRP. CW, you want to go?
Sure. I disagree. I think they're pretty good. And although they did come out with a high MSRP, most of the companies do. And that's not the price we pay on the street. And it's also the one they pushed was their high dollar one, their fancy pants, real expensive one. I looked at them a couple times. A couple of my dealers here have them, and they're under 12. And I looked at them side by side with Henrys that are 12 and Rugers that are 12. So no, I don't think they're overpriced. I think it's a pretty good product. It's a cross between a 94 and a 36 Marlin. It's got a round bolt where the 94s in Marlins have a square bolt. The 36s are a round bolt. So it's got a little bit of a different look to it. They've got a couple of nice innovations with how they're made, and the ability to have an option of something that's really nice, something maybe like an heirloom buying, spending $2,000 or 22, whatever it is for their high dollar one, is a nice option. I mean, not everybody's going to do it. Not everybody can afford it, but the stainless steel standard model, you're getting a stainless steel firearm. They're always a little more money. So yeah, I don't disagree. I don't agree with they're priced out of their ballpark. They're right in line with everybody else. Now, can you argue everybody else is expensive? Sure. Yeah, everybody else is expensive. And look at their limited edition one is the really ultra fancy one. But Marlin did that too. Marlin's got some, or Marlin did have some fancy limited edition guns that were high dollar as well. So it's all marketing, and it's all what the market will bear. And let's face it, none of us like it, but the fact of the matter is, all the firearms have gone up a lot since COVID. A lot.
I wish I could find I found a picture of the other one, but it's not. You've got the blued walnut one, then you've got the stainless steel, the one we showed the picture of, and then you've got the one that garage guy here is talking about, which is absolutely gorgeous. And I mean gorgeous, but for $3,500, yeah, it needs to be. So, Six, what's your?
Just so people know, most of the cost of that is the wood. It's a high grade wood. I forget exactly what wood they used in that, but it's a high grade wood.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I'll try to find a picture of the limited edition.
I haven't seen one personally, so I really have no opinion on it other than as far as the looks that I've seen of it. It's not my style. I don't like those big loops and stuff. As far as price, yeah, that's about the average price of any lever gun. I mean, I paid $1,200 for that 73 that I just bought.
You guys that shoot cowboy action, do I've never seen and I've only watched a couple local matches and seen like Six's videos and stuff. Do any of the guys use a big loop lever gun? I've never seen anybody using it. I wouldn't think you could rack them fast enough with that thing.
I mean, I have seen one show up there, but he ain't never been back because you can't rack it. For fast racking, you don't want that big old loop.
I wouldn't think so.
That gun wouldn't be SAS legal anyway. So. There's quite a few people running the Rossies. They're cheap and they run.
Yeah, that's what I'm using.
Georgia boy.
If
see what he wrote.
They might need to do a little work on them, but other than that, they work. It's just like the Stoger shotguns. You need a little work on them, but they'll run.
Yeah, and I think Thorzak's nailed it too as far as price. A lot of it's supply and demand and fad. What
Mm-hmm.
people perceive as being the thing to have that's going to run prices up.
Yeah, the tactical shotgun or tactical lever gun.
Yeah.
Hello.
Say hey to everybody.
Hey, Rigby, how you doing, girl?
I'm doing good.
That's
Big
good to
Al.
hear.
Big Al asked that you be on more often.
So we got one question out there. It's a real easy,
Hey,
quick
Rigby.
question. So we'll throw it up real
Mark?
fast.
I would
All right, yeah.
if Papa just lets me.
Thanks for bringing Rigby on, Pawpaw.
Okay.
Oh, Mark.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
Hello. Sorry I was a little bit late. Back to school season. Seth's got activities already, so picked him up at a little bit before 8 at school and brought him home and sat with him while he had dinner. So that was a little bit more important to me.
Yes, sir. As it should be.
All right. Here's the. That's the regular traditional walnut, which I like much more better than the other one. But I said I was going to save my opinion for last. And let's look at this one. This is the limited edition. And you can see the difference in the quality of the wood. So,
Mm-hmm.
Is the wood worth twice as much as a regular rifle?
well, the wood don't carry any form or function. So,
Right.
Mark, the question is that Smith & Wesson 1854 lever action worth the money? And you have an opinion? Do you know?
Well, how many bean sprouts?
1,200.
Oh no, I couldn't justify that. I've seen nice vintage used rifles for 800 that I just couldn't justify.
Well, I'm going to make some concessions here in a minute. Walter, you're the only one that hadn't given your opinion yet, and then we got to go through the room.
$1,200, a lot of money to spend for a lever gun. There's so many good choices around. You got to want one pretty bad. But if that's the one you want, then go get that one, and don't worry about what it costs you. If it's going to make you happy, then buy it and shoot it. That's all I'm going to say about it. I got a whole 6-pack of Henrys sitting over there in a safe. I like them. They're fine. I got them when they weren't quite as expensive as they are today, but they're not the best. But they were locally available, and I still enjoy getting them out and shooting them. But value of a firearm is what it is to you. I don't really know if you can look at such a thing as what's it worth to everybody else around me. What are they going to think of me if I buy this and spend this for that? The value is to you and you yourself. You want it, go buy it. Need a new barrel, go get it. Need new trigger stuff, go get it.
One of the biggest sayings you'll hear in the used market is it's worth what someone's willing to pay, and that's it comes up a lot because when people are trying to sell something to a company to resell, that's when it comes up a lot, because you have to sit there and explain to the person, well, look, yes, you think it's worth this much, this is what I think I can get out of it, but it's only worth what someone's willing to pay. And if they're not willing to come up to that point, then obviously we're not making money.
I think we got a problem over on Rumble side. I think I didn't get something exactly right. Anyway,
Uh-oh.
Anybody else? Did we miss anybody?
No, but you know what we haven't done yet?
Yeah, and I'm gonna get to that just as quick as I can give
Okay.
my opinion on.
All right.
CW gave it a very favorable review. I have not shot one. I have handled one in the gun store, and that's the extent of my experience with it. The stainless steel one with the black plastic furniture is butt ugly, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole, especially for that kind of money. I'm a Marlin guy. I love my Marlins. I like Winchesters. Wish I could afford more of them. But the traditional one, with the wood, the walnut, and the blue looks a lot more like my style of a gun. And that the limited edition one is, my opinion on that is I wish I could afford to drop that kind of money. So thanks, New Tex. I appreciate that. So, I've got the Marlin 1894, the Ruger made one, and I saved for over a year to buy that gun. And I paid, I think, 1,050 bean sprouts for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one I wanted. And I waited until I got it at a price I wanted to pay for it, or I could pay for it. And that's what I got. Is it better than the Smith & Wesson? I don't know. I mean, this is the thing, though. I wanted the Marlin, and I've got the Marlin, and that's what I wanted. That's what I got. Like what Walter was saying. I think too often we settle for inferior guns. Not that they're inferior. I think we settle for guns that don't hold their value as well when we go to buy guns. So, and we probably shouldn't do that, because a good quality gun's like a Harley. It goes down after you buy it, and it depreciates to a point, and then it starts gaining value again. And of course, that's all relative as to what kind of condition you keep it in as well. George Boy makes good comment right there. So you feel my pain, man. You feel my pain.
So there's one thing out there, and this hasn't come up in a while, but there's one thing out there, and it's how I bought a lot of my older Smith & Wessons, is there's layaway. Layaway is a great option. If the store has it, wherever you're at, if they have it, layaway is a great option. When you get into the high dollar stuff, and a lot of the older Smith & Wessons and stuff like that, they're going to be in that high dollar range. It is a fantastic way to be able to pick up the thing you want.
Just remember, guys, whatever you told your wife that you paid for, when you pass, that's what she's going to sell it for.
Yeah.
Keep a diary, guys. Take some pictures of your stuff. Record the serial numbers, when you bought it. What you feel like it's worth and what you paid for it. And if something happens to us, that way our survivors are going to have some idea of what they've got and what they can expect to get from it. So we need to call out the side chat. We've got 58. It's amazing. We had over 60 till I started talking, and then we dropped down about 3. So, yeah, Colt, like the original Python, he paid good money for that.
Yeah.
What are we typing in, Walter?
Well, we're talking about lever guns, so let's just type in lever. That's an easy one. Everyone can spell it. And, unless you're from certain parts of the country and you want to try to spell lever, but that's, Leaveher. That's a whole different thing.
Thank you. All right. And
Handy.
my buddy G23 is one of the worst, ain't he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. He spells lever Glock.
He actually spells it Leeeeeever. Anyway, of course, Walter gets the jump on y'all because he made it up, right? So he's in first on the panel and in the side chat. We got our brother CW Longshots up in here as well. Andy 79Z28 is also in the panel. So is 6-shooter Texas. We got Tommy Boys in the side chat. Glenn Davis. Ouch. Tactical Fud. Ozark Spirit. Tim S. Fluffy 10mm Jeep Guy. Dale Pogue. Colt 1927. Walks Fletcher. William C. Chapin, good to see you out there. Curtis Duffer 426. Crash. Garage Guy 879. MCK. Alaska 1. Andy Edward Petty. Thorzax. Bubba Triclops Ballistics. Glenn Davis. Andy 79Z28. Hillbilly Ups on the panel. Paul Loud. Artac and Daughters. Lead Bullet Junkie. Good to see you out there, brother. We got Ozark Spirit. We have Miss Kitty, Vanessa Kitty, Papa's Place, Info Bros, James Pugh, Michael Hurtnick, Ron 2A Matters, Glenn Davis, Dwayne 7834, Georgia Boy 44, my brother Chico Wise. We got Kyle's out there, Bobby Barlow, Hobby's Hobo, Hillbilly Up Again, Old One Guys out there. Mike Hester disagrees. Guns and Water disagrees. All right, so I think that's everybody. I hope I got everybody. If I missed you, I apologize. And Stephen M. Mann.
I sent you a link to one of his videos today, JD.
Welcome, Mr. Stephen.
Mountain Man.
Mr. Man.
Mountain Man.
Mountain Man. I got to check that video out. I can't get, when y'all send me those links at work, I click on them to watch them. Mark's chuckling because he's in a school system too. We get a black box. That's all we get. We get a black square.
Well, it's understandable because he starts out his video with the national anthem. So goodness knows they'll block that.
Yeah. Anything like that or the Pledge of Allegiance, bam, it's blocked.
Yep. Copyright strike too.
No, Mark Thomas, it's not louver. That's something that goes on the window of a 1967 Mustang Fastback.
An actual Mustang, not a fake Stang that are out there, you know.
What is up, man? And that's another topic we should get into one Friday night. How do you know when you're looking at a car if you take it to the gas station or if you plug it up in the wall when you get it home? I'm lost.
If you've got to plug it in the wall, there's a problem.
Yeah, you can't drive it cross country. So welcome all you guys in the side chat. We're honored by your presence. And Andy, I saw that, man. Ford and Mazda put out a recall, and they're not new cars either, are they?
No,
They put out an order, do not drive them. Something about the airbag is not right. It's bad. It's real bad. All right, what's our next topic?
Boy, I'm like you. I got nothing here. Who's got something in the side chat?
Um, Guns and Water, you might have heard the thunderstorm that come through here. Good answer, Abigail.
Yeah, those dark spirits said that there's a storm heading his way. So I just looked, and he's just not too far from me. And like, yeah, looks like we're going to get some weather after a bit.
I think we're going to get some overnight, around 2 or 3 in the morning, and maybe some passing storms and showers tomorrow. And I'm hoping they're passing quickly because I'm going to take about a 150-mile ride back home, Western Pennsylvania. Got a family reunion to go to.
Oh, nice.
I'll be dodging storms. That's going to be kind of a neat one. We found out, well, sort of last year when my uncle was in the Air Force. He was over in England. He apparently had a girlfriend while he was there, and he probably never even knew that he ended up with a daughter. She ended up doing some, that family tree tracing kind of stuff, and got in touch with family last year, and they kind of checked it out real thoroughly and found out, sure enough, she's family. So she came over once last year, and she planned to come this year for the reunion. So I'm going to get to meet a cousin I never knew I had.
Very
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Now, what's really funny is that if you looked at a picture of my uncle, well, when he was about my age, we're pretty close. It's not exact, but it's pretty close.
Wow.
So they wanted me to come in, and I told them I didn't know if I could. I didn't make any promises, and I didn't tell anybody I was, definitely coming. I didn't make the decision until yesterday. So I'm going to give them a big old surprise and roll in there about 11 o'clock, and we'll see how things go.
Cool. Make
So
sure you wear your slickers in case you get rained on.
Well, I'm going to put them in the little bag I carry, just in case. But it's pretty easy here. That the way that I travel, I don't travel on the turnpike. I don't do the highways. I do all secondaries and back roads. So I'll pull off every half an hour or so and check the radar. And if I see something coming up, I can ditch off on the side road and I can miss a storm completely and not lose any time.
Very cool. So I just want to tell Georgia boy, you know where I'm at, and I know where you're at. So if it's raining here, you got between 45 minutes and an hour and a half because it's going that way. He's east and I'm west, and we're about equal as far as longitude.
we got a little thunderstorm a couple miles south of here. I can hear it rumbling.
Yeah, Chico's getting a storm too, so you know it's coming, Georgia boy. Go put the cover on it. Somebody want to talk about 38 bullets. Oh my goodness. Say it ain't so, Abigail. So, on that topic, I was hearing that when it got really cold during the winter, they die. They won't crank.
Yep.
They won't
They'll
go.
all die. There was this past winter on the news, constantly you saw them on the side of the road. Teslas, you name it, they were all just dying on the side of the road.
Stephen M. Mann's channel. There you go.
I seen a video here a while back of a YouTuber. He bought a brand new, Tesla of some sort, and he drove from California to Ohio, and he's doing like a couple blogs a day all the way. And I forget how many days it took him. It took him a long time to get there because I had to stop and charge it. But what was really funny was, like when you stop at night at a charging place, sometimes they're like out in the middle of nowhere, and like he was scared crapless, man. Like he's like, I'm just, I'm plugging my car in, getting in, and locking the doors and sitting here, not a store around, nothing, and, but anyway, it's a pretty interesting series they did on that. But yeah, it took him quite a few days.
When we used to RC drag race during the winters, we would get those bottle warmers that you use in your car, 12 volts to warm up the baby bottles, and wrap our batteries up in it between rounds to keep them warm.
Okay. 38 357 Magnum bullets. I love both of those walks. Matter of fact, I think I have 3 different molds of 358 477s. And if I remember correctly, the 429s are just a little bit heavier.
And they're 170s.
That's what I thought. And the 477s are about, 155. And Georgia Boy will never steer you wrong. He's a pastor. So he's not going to lie to you unless it's absolutely necessary. With that being said, the Lee 358 158 round flat is about all he uses.
That's a good bullet.
That's one of Lee's better bullets.
I've got that one. I've got that one, but I mainly shoot the 125.
Yeah.
If any of you guys are out there and you have one of these electric cars and you're having issues getting it started, why don't you just go buy one of the Vivatu pistol lights? It gets so dang hot, it'll probably restart that engine for you so damn quick, you won't even know it hit you. That thing is ridiculous.
Just install that thing right underneath the oil pan. You'll be fine.
Dude, I was trying to get the whistling sound on camera, and you just couldn't hear it. But that thing is screaming.
So, Walk says 125s are for sissies. That's for cowboy action shooting.
The 477 is only 150. I mean, it's kind of a middle of the road.
Right.
For 357, kind of 158 grain is sort of what is settled on for a 357 jacketed bullet. But for the cast bullets, gosh, we've got dozens and dozens and dozens of bullets. I bet I've got 20 moles for 38/357 caliber, and everywhere from 105 grains up to 200 grains. And
there's 4 or 5 or 6 wad cutter molds.
Mm-hmm. I've got 8 wad cutter molds for 38.
Yeah, I'm not even talking about one to another. Just look at Lyman's. Lyman's got got to be 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
There's a flat one, a button nose, a couple button nose, a couple of type 3s,
double-ended,
hollow bases.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch just from Lyman. Lee's got a couple. Hensley and Gibbs got a couple. Everybody's got a few.
MP's got them.
That's just wad cutters. I mean, 3857 is like right there as the number 1 cast bullet caliber. right
Yeah.
behind maybe 44 and then 45 Colt.
Yeah, they've been around forever, and
Yeah.
there's good reason for it. You know, it's a caliber that's easy to adapt to a lot of different bullet styles and weights to shoot out of the same firearm. You know, and we have rifles in caliber as well as handguns in caliber, and
Yeah, the
so
350 Legend, Glenn, that's going to be a little bit difficult because it's going to depend on the platform you're shooting 350 Legend in. And I know Tommy Boy's going to argue with me. There's 76 High Boy. What's going on, brother?
hi boy, good to see you, man.
I
This
had really good luck with the Seiko 296. It's a truncated cone, 180 grain, and it shot really well. It feeds and everything. It's not a common one, but if you want to look, if you want to get in touch with me, I can get you some to try. It's a nice bullet for all around use. I'd like to see a bigger knee plat for a hunting bullet, but for just shooting, punching paper, shooting steel, and just having a good time, it's a tough one to beat. It's got a good shape for feeding in the semis.
I'm having trouble in my AR platform, and Mark was Mock MCK was with me, and when I was shooting them, and they shot good. If you single loaded them, they just didn't feed well, and that's with my 359 hammer and that bullet you sent me,
Right.
the round nose.
Yep.
I want to say
NOE bullet.
430.
NOE
Yeah, it's the NOE clone.
clone of the 430. Yep.
Yeah. And I bought that mold since then, so I really want to make that work. And it may there you go.
Yeah, you can play with your overall length and maybe get something passable, but it depends on how old your barrel is. The newer barrels are going to a single feed ramp. The older barrels the feed ramps are from 5.56, and those definitely won't feed anything very well. But if you've got a newer barrel, or you modify yours to be the newer style, which is just, instead of having a feed ramp right and left like the 5.56 has, it has one big feed ramp like the 458 SOCOM would have. Just one big fat feed ramp, and that feeds better for the 350 Legend.
I think what I need to do with mine is take my barrel off the receiver and just grind that middle triangle out.
Yep, grind that middle one off and just polish it out. Don't reduce the depth of it at all. Just grind it down till it's flush, and then polish it out.
That's what I'm gonna have to do. Then I bet it'll feed that.
It'll feed much better, for sure.
It's because it seems what's happening is the bullet is hanging up right there, and you know those bullets I'm talking about. You've got both.
Yeah.
And
Well, you're trying to feed something that's this big around instead of something that's a quarter of an inch.
right.
A 223 is tiny, and it's tapered.
It's hanging as the nose hangs, but the bolt carrier group doesn't, and it just slams and just puts a big gall right down the side of your brass. So, yeah. That sounds like a good one, Paul. I have the 350. It's called the 359 Hammer, I think's the name of that MP mold I have. It has 4 different hollow point pins. I sent it to CW, and he kept it for a while and cast it up a bunch.
I really like my MP molds. You know,
They're awesome, aren't they?
you know, you get all of those choices that he sends you for your noses, and I mean, one mold and you can make 4 different bullets out of it.
Right.
all at the same time if you want to. It's
Right.
and they cast well. They're they're good casters.
Oh,
Well made.
You get them brass molds hot, and man,
Yeah, they run.
they're great.
I think I have that 165 RF.
You know, if we found a mold that you didn't have,
Yeah,
we would.
I think I have
Right,
one. I think I have one that he doesn't have, and it's a wad cutter for 41 mag, and I know he doesn't have it. It's made by
I've
Lee,
got an MP. I don't have that one. I got an MP one that you don't have though.
of course.
Hollow base
I got a hollow base wad cutter from MK for 38.
for 41.
Oh, I don't have it for 41.
Yeah,
Oh
for
man.
41.
Hey, you guys, you saw it here. That guy up there just cost me $150. You turkey. I didn't know he had one. I looked one time. And I didn't see it. All right,
Oh yeah.
be here next
All right.
week.
So can I address a comment out there? We had a comment from Abigail asking about regular full metal jacket as defensive ammunition and an AR. So one thing you have to realize, folks, full metal jacket and an AR is not designed to kill. It's designed to maim. It's designed to take out more than one person on the battlefield. And what that means is it's designed to take out one person, put them on the ground, and one or two other people run over to help that person.
Right.
That's what it's designed for. It's not designed to actually kill. So to use that in self-defense, could it potentially work? Yes, it could potentially work for you. But in all reality, it's better to go spend the money and buy proper actual defensive ammunition, especially if you're going to use it in your house, instead of trying to use regular full metal jacket.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but here in Missouri, we can't hunt them. There's a reason for that.
They don't let y'all hunt with full metal jackets.
No,
No, we can't hear. Nope.
It's designed to penetrate. It's not designed to kill.
Or poke holes in paper.
Right.
Well, the full metal jacket came out because of, I think, World War One. You know, people were making crazy stuff, and it was just killing the people. And, well, we can't have that, so they made it full metal jacket so it passed through.
Yeah. And that's it. Again, it's designed to maim. It's not designed to kill. It's designed on purpose by the military to take out one person, so it takes out 3 or 4 people who run over to help that person. Therefore, now you have an open area of X amount of people, and easier to do what you got to do. That's the whole point of it.
I think it's in the Geneva Convention or something about that.
It is.
It is. Yep. Just spend the money, folks. I know it's not cheap when it comes to stuff like that, but just spend the money.
Or just buy yourself a 420 Lee bottom pour pipe, and or one of those old linemen's, and get yourself some zinc or some wheel weights, and do what you got to do, man.
Yeah, there's plenty of holes out there that you can make perfectly good rounds that will do just fine for defensive ammunition.
Let me tell y'all something. Those Lee molds, those 2-cavity Lee molds, they're not as pitiful as everybody thinks or says. Or
Agreed.
yeah, they're not optimal. But I'm telling you guys, to get started and reload some ammo, yeah.
And there are some of those, Lee designs that are just really work well. I mean, they're just good bullet designs. There are some that aren't so good. There's a 45 ACP one, for example, that sucks, I think, and I'm not a big fan of their tumble lube ones. But that one that 6-shooter Texan uses in his 38 special, the 125, that's a pretty good bullet. And there's Lee has a couple of truncated cone styles that I like, and like Jamie is saying, when you're looking to get started, Lee is a good way to get started without throwing $1,000 at a new hobby that you're not sure you're going to like. Because you can get into a Lee hobby for $150 and go for it, with a 2-cavity mold. And they cast well. You do it right. Get someone to kind of prep you a little bit, show you how to start off a brand new mold, and they're going to run. They work.
Yeah, they'll work.
Okay, so Abigail says the current defensive ammo is Normer 50 grain hollow points. Can't find them in lots of 1,000. When it comes to hollow points, you're just not. It's hard to find even regular pistol ammunition hollow points in batches of 1,000. You're gonna have to buy them in small batches. That's just how it goes. They don't produce those in large batches. They just don't sell them that way.
Well, the hollow base wad cutters are still sold in big batches. That was a standard for a long time. That with that hollow base, and they had kind of a skirt around it, and the idea was that skirt would expand really quickly with something like bullseye, which is going to create a lot of pressure real fast and expand that skirt out and engage the rifling. And there's a lot to be said for that. You couldn't use too much bullseye with those, or too little, for that matter. But there's a couple outfits that make molds for hollow-based wad cutters. Still, if you like to shoot those, I think powder coated has kind of obviated the need for that. But anyway.
Well, you can buy the berries plated. They have
Yep.
hollow base too.
Yep, you're right. I'd forgotten about Barry's hollow base. For you guys in the side chat, I'm already over here at MP Molds looking at this 41 meg. $111.48. If I order today, what's today? Friday. It'll be in my doorstep from Slovenia next Wednesday. Faster than you could get something out of Midway or Brown.
You're going to charge half
on
of that
Friday
to
morning.
CW?
Yeah, it's a 4-cavity mold brass. Yep. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it just and his prices are good. He ships it that way for $25.
Okay,
We'll have me buying one next.
Yeah, sooner or later, everybody who is a caster should have at least one MP mold just to see what the fuss is all about. They're just an outstanding engineering product, I think.
I haven't
You can
found
use your
one.
Lee handles.
I haven't found an M&P that I want to buy yet. So
I should send you a couple of mine to try. I got a couple of the lighter weight ones for 38 that would actually work.
dude, if I could do what you could do, I wouldn't buy them either. I just wouldn't.
You just make them. Yeah. Well, there is that with 6-shooter. For those of you guys who don't know, 6-shooter up here, he's a master when it comes to designing and producing his own handmade molds. And I know because I've got a couple of them, and his designs are good. Then they work and they're well executed. I'm telling you, if he ever decides to retire from what he's doing now and go into the mold making business, he could get it done, I think. But
I need to get you guys, and we're coming up on the verse of the week time, but I need to get Mark Thomas and you guys that's got experience with 41 Magnum. Y'all fill in our buddy Lead Bullet Junkie. He's apparently infatuated with the with the 41 Magnum, and please don't call him LBJ. Uh, I was alive when that
For the
particular
USA.
piece of something was president of this great country. So, and
I've got a button.
no offense, Mint Six. I know he was from your state, but anyway.
Follow me. There's assholes that live here anyway.
Yeah, we got him
They're
here for
everywhere.
sure.
They're everywhere. So, Andy, you getting ready to tell us good night, buddy?
Yeah, it's that time.
Well, we hope you have a great weekend, rest of your weekend, brother. Thanks for being here.
Good night,
Good
Andy.
night, Andy.
Good night, Andy.
We'll
Night,
see you
Andy.
next
Good
time.
night, Andy. Be careful, buddy.
Always.
All right.
Walter's on the
Log
big-
in.
Mark's going to get cold and lonely down there.
I'll be
Yeah,
all
I'm
right.
out of the basement. I got the basement all warmed up for you, Mark. It's not that bad down there.
Well, Lead Bullet Junkie, if you want to get into 41 Magnum, go for it. I couldn't quite keep up with comments. I don't know if you have already or you just want to be able to cast for it. It's a pleasure.
Look at that.
It's,
Oh, they're fun. And
Oh, yeah.
and
That's a good one, Tim.
Led, I just cast a new to me Seiko mold for 41 today, the number 409. It's 190 grain truncated cone bullet.
Yeah, I cost Mark some money last time we found one.
Yep. I cast that one. I powder coated it.
I got this one for 60 bean sprouts.
Ooh, you did better than I did.
4 cavity Seiko mold.
Oh, 4 cavity.
Oh, you
Yeah,
robbed
That's only
it.
2.
You robbed it.
Same guy had a 4 cavity with handles that went for 70
Oh.
bean sprouts. I almost bought both of them.
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
I don't have any experience with any other firearm than the Blackhawk, and I love the Blackhawks. They will handle just about anything, and
Yep.
Boy, with even midway loads that are pretty stout, it just doesn't even care. So you can load those all the way up to max and not have any worries. And depending on your powder choice and the bullet you're casting and using, they're just darn accurate.
Yeah.
I can attest to that. That one of the first revolvers I ever bought was a Blackhawk in 44 Magnum, and I got a bag of reloads with it. Well, the guy failed to tell me how hot they were, and I'm on the range, and I got a friend with me who worked with me, and I pulled the trigger, and he's like, "Dude, hang on, stop. Let me shoot this, and you step back here so you can see what's going on." And I'm not kidding this. I'm not kidding when I say this, guys. It was well over a 4-foot flame coming out the end of that damn barrel.
Wow.
It was huge, and it handled it like a champ.
So look at this. Lead Bullet Junkie. I love the round. He's got 3 41 mag 57 no dash and a pair of black.
Oh man.
Oh, wow.
I think what he's wanting though is a side load gate lever action.
Boy, that'd be sweet to have, wouldn't it, to pair up? I've been looking for a Blackhawk out here California way, and Ruger hasn't put one in California for a long time. I've got one firearm. I got the 57, and it's a -6. But that's it for what I've got. But boy, I like it. I've got 7 or 8 molds for it now, and it's fun.
You ever get that 48 back?
No. In fact, I was in the gun shop today ordering that new 357 Blackhawk, and the fellow said, "No, we haven't heard anything, but I'll call him today and let you know what I find out tomorrow." So I'm sure Smith is backlog. They were having troubles with that line anyway. So
Now, that one you couldn't find, Walters, because it's not on the registry, or it just
no, the single actions are exempt from the
okay.
California registry. So it just there haven't been any here.
But if you could find somebody that had one, that's,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
yeah, okay,
yeah. And
yeah,
I'd buy a used one in a heartbeat if I could lay my hands on it. I won't buy a used gun unless I can put my hands on it and look at it
mhm.
and you know check the shake on it and all that kind of stuff. But they just haven't come up, and new ones are not on the market out here. I don't know where they're at, but
They must have only put a few out there.
See, I've done that once. I always swore that I would never buy a used uh, handgun or any gun sight unseen. And then I was looking for a 44 Black Hawk, and I found that 44 Special Lipsy, and that gun was perfect. It was like brand new when it got here.
yeah, nice.
But you buy it from. Well, I got it from Guns International, and I knew, and it came from a Cabela's, so I pretty well knew that I was going to be a.
Oh, and I'm the same way. I've only ever bought one sight unseen, and it was through Gunbroker, which I'm not a huge fan of Gunbroker whatsoever. But I went on there looking to pick up another Model 19, found one, went to buy it, and it was already sold. And the company's phone number was listed, so I called the company. And as I was talking to them, they said, "Yeah, we have a whole assortment of guns." It was a gentleman who passed away, and it's an estate sale. And so I ended up picking up a different Smith & Wesson sight unseen. And when I talked to the guy on the phone, I basically just asked him, I'm like, "Okay, give me the rundown, and don't bullshit me. Give me the rundown. How good does it look?" And he's like, "Dude, it's literally brand new in a box." I'm like, "Okay, then I'll take it. I'm not even going to hesitate. I'm not even going to question the price of it. Let's just do it." And when it showed up to the FFL, and I walked in there and looked at it, he didn't lie to me, man. That thing's pristine. And I hate buying stuff sight unseen, but I got lucky on that one, and I got a good price on it too.
You've seen my 44, haven't you?
Yeah.
You shot it.
I have, and we talked about it back and forth.
Yeah, I think you've even shot it. So
I bought my Ruger single 632, or one of them, off a Gunbroker, sight unseen, and thinking as old as it was, it would probably been shot when I got here. It was unfired, and it was actually older than the original one that I bought back in the 80s when 32s first came out. Ruger don't even have it in their database. When I looked it up on the serial number.
If it wasn't an actual gun company, I wouldn't have bought it. If it was a private seller, I probably would have walked away.
This was a gun shop out of, I want to say, Virginia, West Virginia.
A lot of times, you read these places, you're not stuck with that gun. You buy it on Gunbroker. You don't do the paperwork on it. It's not yours. It's in limbo. You've got a day or so, whatever time that you agreed upon, to take a look at that firearm. You're not stuck with it just because you bought it on Gunbroker.
Yeah, you generally have a 3-day inspection period, don't you?
I bought many. Never ever had a problem.
Typically with Gunbroker, I believe it's 3. Yeah.
All right, so let's get on to the verse of the week, and we're winding down on the Sermon on the Mount, and this is not going to take long tonight, guys. So y'all remember we've been going through the Sermon on the Mount, and we're up to verse 24, remember last week we talked about many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name, cast out demons? And he'll say, depart from me. Uh, I, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who practice lawlessness. We're up to verse 24. Uh, and we're going to do 24 through 27 tonight. So, therefore, whoever hears these words of mine and does them, I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. Verse 25. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew up and beat on that house, and it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock. But whoever hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like the foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rains descended, and the floods came up, and the winds blew and beat on that house, and it fell, and great was its fall. Let's dig in a little bit. Let's go back to verse 24. Therefore, whenever you see therefore in Scripture, you got to ask yourself, what is therefore, therefore? So basically, this is therefore at this point in time, in context of what's been going on the Sermon on the Mount, is for him closing his speaking. He's, in other words, in lieu of everything else I have said, this needs to be done. Whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them will liken him to a wise man who built his house on the rock. So when we talk about a wise man, we're talking about a prudent man, a reverent man, a godly man. Verse 25 here. I want y'all to get the picture here. When the rain descended, that means the rain comes down from above, and the floods came, that means the water came up from beneath, and the winds blew and beat on that house, that means from side to side. So the house it did not fall because it was founded on the rock. The rock had that solid foundation, which is God's word, which is the words that Jesus is teaching in the Sermon on the Mount. That's the rock that the house was founded on. And that's what I said earlier. Make sure you can withstand and stand when you're being swamped from every side. But everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. Okay, but everyone, listen to this now, but everyone who hears these sayings of mine and does not do them will be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. We don't talk about everybody. We're talking about everyone who hears these sayings. So when we talk about the word of God and when we hear and when we have heard the message and we choose to do what we want to do anyway instead of what we know is right, as opposed to what we know is wrong, it's like the house is on the sand. The rain will descend, the floods came, the winds blew again, from above, from below, from side to side, and it fell, and great was its fall. And I think we all know what that means. And then next week, we'll just be wrapping up the last two verses of chapter 7. Questions or comments?
Yeah, this one, like you said, Jamie, this is the culmination of the entire sermon. And what he's saying is, take all of this that I've said and bring it down to here. And here's the bottom line right here. And, I think that he's talking about, it's not just, the rock isn't just the word. The rock is also the man walking the walk, walking in the way. That's the individual person's foundation. Ultimately, that's going to be your foundation. You either walk the walk You walk the route that has been placed before you, or you don't. And I don't think there's a man among us that can truthfully say that, yeah, I walk the walk as I'm supposed to every day, 24/7. I know I don't. I try, but it just doesn't always happen. I fall into traps. I make mistakes. I do things that I shouldn't have done. But I know what the word is, and do know what I'm supposed to do, and I try, and I think that's what we're supposed to. I think that's what he's saying. It's not physically go build your house on a rock. It's not just if you listen to the word. That's not the foundation. The foundation is what you do with it. I think. I think that's your own foundation is what you do with that word. You ignore it or you live by it.
I think the definition of sin is knowing right and wrong and choosing to do wrong, even though you know it's not right.
Yeah. I'm reading the comments over in the side chat. There's always some good stuff in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Hillbilly. I know you want to say something.
No, I mean Walter had both you guys, and even the side chat. Everybody's had some really good explanations on this, and I seem to totally agree. As kind of more in country language or whatever, if your daddy, your grandpa, whoever sits down and explains some stuff to you, last thing he would say would be, you better be understanding what I'm saying, and I kind of feel like, this is kind of that of what Jesus was saying. It's like, everything I've said for you, you all that's heard this, we're getting down, the, to the main thing here. You better you need to understand. I'd say better, but you need to understand this because, here's what's going to happen if you follow this, and here's what's going to happen if you don't. And as some of the country folk would say, it's right down to the gnat's ass. I mean, that's how it's going to happen. And yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, and I know I've said it before here, but I'm going to say it again. I'm really thankful for this section of our weekly chat because it serves as another reminder, another weekly reminder. We do our Sunday things, however we all feel like doing that. But Friday nights I get another little poke saying, I should have done that differently this yesterday, or live up to the word. You can do better than what you did this week. So Jamie, I really appreciate having this segment in here, and I know I'm not the only one. I know that it's meant a lot to a lot of folks. So I want you to notice that, that I do appreciate that.
Most definitely.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you recommending the Sermon on the Mount. It's been very rich, but what in God's Word isn't.
And if kind of wrapping this, I don't want to interfere if somebody else has something to say, but I just want to say maybe for some people out there that not read through the Bible, a bunch or whatever, there's some awesome stories. I mean, you can go back and follow all of King David, and I mean, if that was put into a movie which would be, it takes several movies to cover all that. But man, you're talking, about, you know, fighting and, going from, you know, place of not much respect to respect back down to living with, thieves and murderers to, I mean, it's just there's the stories of the Bible, that are told. There's so much in them, so many great life lessons, and and they're not boring. Honestly, they're not.
No, they're
Not
exciting
at
as all
all.
get out.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. There is just an amazing amount of humanity in those stories, and there's very little that every man cannot relate to. I mean, there's you can read this stuff and go, yeah, I've been there, done, I felt that way. It's incredible. M. Gabriel nearly slept through the whole thing. Well, glad you woke up, Mr. Gabriel.
Yeah, and we're going to get ready and go through the room and clear the deck for Hillbilly's takeover chat of foul territory tonight because um, everybody's in Knoxville, and I was planning on going, but you lose a water heater and you have to spend money for that and this, that, and the other. And you kill your lawnmower and you have to go buy another lawnmower. All of a sudden, your travel budget is kind of in the tank.
Man, that stinks, especially when they're dominoes like that.
Yeah, well,
Hmm.
but hey, man, my house is built on the rock, so I was able to stand and not get too down about it. So there's
There you
that.
go. That
Man,
sideways blowing wind over there that you had this week isn't going to knock you over, is it?
No, I'm I'm wide and low to the ground.
And you ain't standing in sand either, Jamie.
No, no. All right. So you're what you got coming up besides that? I know you got uh, Guns, Beer, and Therapy tomorrow night at 10 Eastern, 9 Central.
yeah, yeah. Up next, we're gonna do, like I said, kind of cover that spot for Gizzard. Just so sometimes people, they have their time slots set aside. That's like everybody wanting to come here and watch Georgia Sheen Connection tonight. And when that's not there, it's like, well, doggone it, what else am I going to do tonight? And so, anyway, I agreed to cover that time spot next for Gizzard, and then Guns, Bear, and Therapy tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, and I got some, believe it or not, a High Point carbine rifle coming out this next week. So, video. So.
Who'da
Yeah, we
thunk
stuck LPVO on that.
Oh, cool.
How about that? Go ahead, man. I'm not interrupting. I'm just
You're fine. It's starting to rain right here right now, so hopefully I don't lose signal. But thanks for having me. Always a blast. Great side chat, and I'll throw out the link for the show coming up here after a bit. Thank you.
all right. I'll try to get over there if I can. If I don't pass out first. All right. Let's see. Scotsman, you want to go next?
Sure, man. So thank you for having me. Always good to be here. I always look forward to being here on Fridays. Good to see everyone on the side chat. Guys, thank you for the questions. Please bring them every week. We may not always get to them right away, but we'll try and get there because you all are the reason that we do this. So we thank you guys for being there and being supportive. We had over 60 at one point. So thank you guys. We really do appreciate it. As far as what I got going on, this week we'll be shooting the rest of the hard seltzer. So we have 5 cans left because I had to buy a damn 6-pack. I wasn't happy about that. But I got 5 cans, so we're going to blow those up. And I will be happy about that. That will make my day better. Tuesday, we have the MRI. And my guess would probably be Wednesday or Thursday. I should have the results of that. And once I have some more information, I'll let you guys know exactly what the direction is. The doctors are pretty sure it's going to be surgery just based off of where all the pain is and what's going on. So we'll go from there on that. But I'll try and get a few other videos out too. I got some other products that were sent to me. If you haven't watched the tattoo pistol light review, go watch that because you'll laugh your ass off. And I'm just, guys, I don't screw around when it comes to this stuff. And I tell these companies up front, I always tell them, you want to send it to me, that's fine. But don't think just because you're sending it to me that you're going to get a glowing freaking review. If it's not what it's supposed to be, I'm going to tell people it's not what it is.
Yep.
And I gave them the opportunity to turn around and make it right in an email prior to the video, and their email response basically was piss poor. So, I just went ahead and did what I had to do, and that's just how it goes. I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. That's just how it is. And I want to make sure you guys ain't spending your hard-earned money on crap. They're cheap lights and stuff like that, but end of the day, it's still your hard-earned money. And we're in a time where it's tough and not easy for anybody at this point. And so, yeah, I'm not going to tell you to go buy something when it's not what it should be. We have something that I like coming up. We have some speed reloaders. So you'll see those this week too. We'll get that video out. And I also have a video coming for KFW. KFW sent me some money, but he also sent me something else as well in the mail. So I'll get that video put together as well this week. And hopefully have those out within a few days. We'll get a couple of those videos out. But always appreciate being here. Thank you to everyone out in the side chat again, guys. We appreciate you more than you know. It all comes down to you guys being there, supporting this, and being a part of it. So thank you, guys. We appreciate it. And always good being here. So thank you.
Well, thanks for being here, brother. We're going to talk about those pictures here in a minute. Mr. Thomas.
Thanks for having me. Been a wonderful evening. Been great hanging out with everybody. Been trying to keep up with the side chat, and it's been rocking right along. Thanks to everybody out there. Hey, prayers to you, Scotsman. Hoping everything works out well. We're all pulling for you. As far as anything coming up this week, I am finishing up one more set of belts and holsters for Ricky Baird. Hopefully get that all squared away and maybe do a quick video of it before I send it out. And, well, I'll do it before I send it out, but I don't do it. Don't release it until it gets there. That's usually the way I like to do it. School's starting up next week, and things are going to get busy again. So if you don't see a whole lot of videos from me, that's going to be why. But yep, it is what it is. So great evening. Thanks for having me. Great to be here. Great to see everybody. We'll hopefully see you all tomorrow night on Guns, Beard, Therapy. I am going to make the trip out to Western Pennsylvania, but I'm hoping to make it back by the evening. I'm not gonna stay overnight, so it'll be a long day of riding, but I'll hopefully make it back and at least hang out for an hour or two, because I definitely won't make it through the whole night. I didn't make it through last time, and I had a good night's rest.
The last time was epic. That was quite the show, wasn't it?
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for being here, brother. We appreciate you. Go ahead, Walter.
Well, first of all, as always, thank you so much for the continued invitations to come in here and be part of this great association. It's become actually, I'm going to call it a major part of my life these days. You know, I look forward to Friday night. First thing I think about when I wake up on Friday morning is, well, I mean, after going to the bathroom, the second thing, okay, I think about is it Friday? Is it Georgia night? Yeah, it's Georgia night, and it's a big deal. It really is. It's a fun place to be, and all of you guys over there in the side chat, you know, you're counted uh, amongst my friends. You know, on my list, and I'm writing you all down right here as I talk. You know, you guys are good folks out there, and we all know you know what kind of people you are out there, and appreciate you so much for coming in and participating with us and striking up these great conversations that we have. So that's just a wonderful thing to me. Anyway, what's coming up here at Casa de Viejo? I got a video up on Rumble today that came out late because I thought I uploaded it and I didn't. It usually comes out early Friday morning. It didn't get out until like just before the chat started tonight, but it's there. And I don't know what I'm going to do on YouTube yet. I've got a new series that I'm working up to on the wonderful world of wad cutters, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it on YouTube yet. You know, it's all about casting and loading, and so I got to think about that on how I'm gonna work that in. We're done with that last press thing. I've still got this square deal B from Dylan that I got with that same 550B that I got. I might refurbish that and do a similar deal, but I'm kind of at the end of the rope on refurbishing presses for the moment. But at some time in about 7 days, there's going to be an unboxing from Slovenia. While we're sitting here, I'm ordering that mold because I didn't have one, and it's going to end up being part of this wad cutter series that I'm going to do. Thanks to Baldy over there. He cost me more money, I swear. Well, I won't swear. I'll just say thanks. How's that, Brian?
He needs to get commission checks, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah. But, you know, I've learned that his word is usually good. You know, when he says, hey, yeah, you don't have this one, and maybe you ought to, he's probably right.
He's never steered me wrong yet.
That's exactly it. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on here. My apprentice reloader, Angela from the range safety officer, she's been in pretty much regularly once a week. She comes by and gets a reloading lesson. So she'll be here this week. I kind of look forward to that. She's a nice lady and smart, and learns fast, quick, steady. So that's always fun. So that's kind of what's going on here. We got good weather. I wish I could steal some of your bad weather and take some of that off of you guys' backs for you, but it's nice here. I don't know how to come and steal your weather from you. So,
Well,
Chapin, shut up, Chapin. Leave Jenny out of this.
Well, Walter, with your YouTube side of that, I mean, they probably don't pay much attention to cooking shows, so your casting change it to Cooking with Walter or something.
Yeah, I might have to do something like that.
So
maybe I'll get the kayak and stuff in there.
Is she aware of Jenny? What's Jenny's phone number?
I don't even have Jenny's phone number. This is something that Curtis cooked up in the back part of his brain.
867-5309?
867-539.
That number to call.
Everybody knows Jenny.
Go ahead, Six. What do you got coming up this week, brother?
All right. Thanks for inviting me again, first of all, and then taking the wife in the morning to the cowboy range so she can practice some more. Coming back home, and I'm going to get the casting pot out so I can cast her more bullets. She's going through my bullets fast. But got something coming up. I got a friend of mine that's got a prototype of a product that he wants me to do a review on. So I got to go by and pick that up from him. So should be doing a video on that here in a couple weeks. And then that's about it. Just go back to work. wife's birthday's Sunday, so I won't be doing nothing probably Sunday.
Happy birthday. We know you can hear us. Happy birthday.
She's in the kitchen. I don't know if she can hear you or not.
Yeah, mine was last Saturday. I had a big night. I gave away a bunch of other people's stuff. So that was I'm 62 years old now. I'm old enough to walk off my steady job anytime I want to. Not that I want to, but I'm thinking about it. So, CW, last but not least, what you got coming up, brother?
I've got a couple more videos coming this week on the 410 and my adventures of blowing out those brass shells to make full-length cases. I've got a thank you video coming out tomorrow, I think, with some stuff I got in the mail. And I've got a couple of shorts on a couple of other obscure rifle cartridges. And those videos are going pretty good. It seems like they either get a couple of 100 views or they get a couple of 10,000 views. So it's like nothing in between. I don't understand it, but hey, people seem to be enjoying it, so it's a good thing. I've got a new barrel that came in the mail today. I'm going to throw up probably a short over the weekend to give everybody a heads up on that one. I don't think I did a short on the other barrel, but it's too late now. It's already off to the gunsmith. And I've got another fun thing coming in that I should have next week that I will do another short on to give heads up, because my videos right now are out till October. So anything I put up new is going to be in October. So I got to put up a couple of shorts or something to get to wet your whistles on the new stuff that's coming up. So and that new thing has got a little bit to do with the brass cases. So I think you'll like it, because that video's just blown up. It's got a lot of views in the 2 days it's been up, and everybody seems to be liking it. I want to thank all the side chat. You guys are great as always. Really good involvement. Really good comments. Really good suggestions. All you guys are great on the panel as always, and I appreciate the time on Friday.
Thanks for being here, brother. We appreciate you. We appreciate the side chat. Hillbilly, you need to say something. You need to help me come up with something right quick. You know those pictures I was showing?
Yeah.
I know we can't say what's really going to happen. Let's just say this. We're going to call it, is round 2 okay?
Yeah, you bet.
All right, let's and we need to get together this week and make a video on Rumble. And what's happening here, guys, is we had some folks donate some very, very nice prizes right at the end of the fundraiser that we were doing for Scotsman. Since that fundraiser has come to an end, we pretty much got word that Scotsman's going to have surgery, more than likely. So we're just going to continue, and we can call it chapter 2 or round 2, and there's going to be some very, very, very nice prizes. I can't tell you about the fact that those pictures may be involved, but I will tell you there
does
is
have a lever.
Yeah,
One of them.
and it does have a box, and it still has a tag. And other than that, we also have a Frankfurt Arsenal Impress with a Lyman mount. Inline fabrication mount. And we also have been promised something really nice from our brother Big Al. So we're just going to start round 2. We'll carry it on 2 or 3 weeks. We'll go through the first of the month for people like me that only get paid once a month, so we can donate. We're going to do, I think, $20 per entry. And other than that, that's all we're going to say about that tonight. Hint, hint, wink, wink. I have 4 products that have come in that I've got to do a review on. So be prepared for me to hammer y'all with a few videos this coming week. I've got this 336/35 Remington that I got that's will be belonging to Gene, and this thing is in such good shape. The slots on the screws are not even wallowed out from it being opened, and y'all know what I'm talking about. So be on the lookout for that one. I'm going to do. I got some spring kits in for my cowboy action revolvers. I'll probably do a rumble video of that process, and I might get Six to help me. Other than that, I got nothing. And y'all know why I was so frazzled when we came on the air tonight. And I appreciate side chat. I appreciate you guys helping me. And we just hope the Lord blesses y'all real good. And we hope that if He's willing, y'all join us next Friday night at 8 o'clock. Say good night, y'all.